Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, arriving at the High Court in central London as part of the case against the Daily Mail publisher, Associated Newspapers Limited, publishers the Mail on Sunday, the Mail Online and the Daily Mail. He, alongside other names including Sir Elton John, David Furnish and other celebrity claimants and claimants. In this case, the third and final case.
How are you feeling confident?
Good luck, sir.
If body language could testify in court, today's case would already be over. Because when Prince Harry stepped out of the High Court this afternoon, he didn't look like a man under pressure. He didn't look rattled. He didn't look worried. He looked victorious. A confident grin, a steady stride. The kind of posture that says, I know what's coming, and I'm ready. And suddenly the narrative the tabloids were so desperate to push, the idea of a desperate prince clinging to relevance, completely collapsed. Because this wasn't a man on the defensive, this was a man who knows the truth is finally catching up with the British press. And today, that truth began echoing through the halls of the High Court. Let's be clear, this is not just another court case. This is a reckoning. Prince Harry is facing off against Associated Newspapers Limited, the publishing giant behind the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, in what is shaping up to be one of the most damning examinations of tabloid behaviour in modern British history. And while the courtroom was filled with hours of legal arguments, what truly rattled observers was Harry himself. No nerves, no visible tension, no cracks. Instead, he walked out smiling, as though the first round had already gone his way. And honestly, given what was laid bare inside that courtroom today, it probably did. At the heart of this legal battle are serious allegations. 7 public figures, including Prince Harry, are accusing Associated Newspapers of systemic privacy violations, including the alleged use of private investigators, deception and covert information-gathering techniques stretching back over 2 decades. Let that sink in. Not a rogue journalist, not a one-off mistake, but a pattern. And that word, pattern, was central to today's opening submissions. Harry's barrister, David Sherborne, didn't mince words. He told the court this wasn't about isolated incidents. It was about an entire culture inside tabloid newsrooms. A culture where people's lives were treated as open property, where grief, trauma and private pain were monetized, where ethics were optional but profit was king. And suddenly the free press defense doesn't sound so noble anymore. One of the most explosive elements of today's hearing was the focus on private investigators. According to the claims presented, Mail titles allegedly relied on investigators to dig up information that journalists had no lawful way of obtaining. We're talking about private phone records, confidential personal details, information even families didn't know. In one example cited, an investigator was allegedly tasked with gathering information about a burglary at the home of the Queen's cousin. Ask yourself, how does a newspaper obtain details like that without crossing serious ethical and legal lines? Exactly. Another name raised was Jonathan Rees, a private investigator infamous for boasting about the reach of his information network. This is the underbelly of tabloid journalism, the part they never want discussed in daylight. But today it was all on the record, and Harry sat there listening calmly as years of denial began unravelling. Let's be honest. The British press has underestimated Prince Harry for years. They painted him as emotional, reactive, easily manipulated. But what they failed to understand is this. Prince Harry grew up inside the system they exploit. He watched his mother be hounded, He saw lies printed as fact. He lived through the consequences of unchecked press power, and unlike previous generations, he refused to stay silent. This case isn't about revenge, it's about accountability. And that's why Harry walking out of court smiling today matters so much, because it signals confidence, not chaos. The tabloids love to frame this as Prince Harry versus the press. But that's a distraction, because this case includes multiple claimants, each with disturbing allegations of privacy invasion. One of the first discussed was Baroness Lawrence, whose claim centres on articles published between the late 1990s and mid-2000s. Another was Sadie Frost, an actress whose case focuses on 11 stories, including deeply personal material that was never meant for public consumption. One draft article, which was written but thankfully never published, reportedly detailed an ectopic pregnancy Frost suffered in 2003. Here's the most chilling part. According to the court, the level of detail in that material was so intimate that even members of Frost's own family didn't know. Let that sit with you. If that doesn't scream unethical intrusion, nothing does. Now ask yourself this. If Prince Harry weren't involved, if this were just ordinary people, would the press be this defensive? Absolutely not. The reason this case matters is because Harry has the platform to expose what millions have experienced without justice. And the reason critics are furious is because he refuses to play the role they assigned him. They want him silent, ashamed, defeated. Instead, he walked out of court smiling. As proceedings paused for the day, Prince Harry was seen leaving the High Court, calm, composed, confident. No angry statements, no emotional theatrics, just presence. That walk wasn't arrogance, it was assurance. It was the body language of someone who knows the truth has momentum. And when your opponents are tabloids built on intimidation and spin, confidence is power. Make no mistake, this hearing is just the beginning. Prince Harry is expected to return later this week to give evidence himself. And when that happens, the same media outlets that mocked him will be forced to listen. Under oath, on record. No spin. This case could redefine press accountability, privacy rights, the limits of tabloid power. And that's why the critics are nervous. Because once one prince breaks the silence, others may follow. Prince Harry didn't need to say a word today. His expression said enough. A man who knows his truth. A man who refuses to be bullied. A man who understands that justice doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives calmly, confidently, and on time. The tabloids wanted a spectacle. Instead, they got a reckoning. If you believe in holding powerful institutions accountable, if you're tired of seeing truth buried under headlines, if you support Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex standing their ground against relentless attacks, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button to push this story further. And if you'd like to support the work we do here, consider buying me a coffee. It truly helps keep this platform independent and fearless. Because stories like this need to be told, and we're not backing down.